What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today.
Hey guys, Jonathan here. Well, we are now in our 11th year of LEGO Marvel, and I think that it's time to go back and look at what the worst minifigs they've made are. Now, these are just my opinion, but it's my opinion based off of comments I've gotten on YouTube, Instagram comments, DMs, everything. So these are pretty generally accepted among the community, but I'll be curious to hear what you guys think. So check out the list and drop a comment below if you agree or if you think there's another figure that really needed to be on the list. Now, before we get into the list, let's set some ground rules. First off, we're not going to count any army builder figures, so no Chitauri, no AIM soldiers, no Sakarans from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just not fair to count those. Secondly, we're not going to count any brick-built figures like Groot from 2014 or the Sentinel or anything like that because they're technically not minifigures. And finally, we're not going to count Mighty Micros or 4+ minifigures because I feel like those get into too much of the weeds and you can argue whether those should be, in the same league or not. Plus, if you put those in, the whole list might be those. So those are our 3 ground rules and we're not going to break them. Okay, so coming in at number 10, we have Monica Rambeau from WandaVision. She came in the LEGO Marvel Studios collectible minifigure series, and while she's a decent figure with the arm printing, the new face printing, the debut of that hairpiece, unfortunately, it's just not the most exciting figure from that lineup, and when you're talking about a CMF series that has a limited slot of characters, there probably could have been a character more interesting to put in there, like He Who Remains, or US Agent, just somebody that's a little bit more iconic, especially considering we're going to get Monica Rambeau in the Marvels, which will come out later this year. It's not like we weren't going to get her minifig anyways. Now US Agent, who knows when we could get him, He Who Remains, who knows, or any other character, that was eligible at that time, could have taken that spot, so she's coming in at number 10. At number 9, we have Razor Fist from Shang-Chi. Now, don't get me wrong, when Shang-Chi came out, this figure definitely made sense to have, because he was in that, really cool battle in the bus. But I think that Trevor Slattery would have been a better choice, given that he's the Mandarin. I know that would have been spoilers, but LEGO has definitely done spoilers before, and I think that would have been a more memorable, exciting character. Even though we technically got him from Iron Man 3, I just think Razor Fist is a pretty forgettable figure that reused a head from Poe Dameron, so he didn't really bring anything new to the table, so he comes in at number 9. At number 8, we have Maria Hill from Spider-Man Far From Home. She came in an accessory pack, which a lot of people might have missed out on to begin with, but it's just a very boring figure, We could have gotten an unmasked Mysterio instead. We could have gotten a Peter Parker figure. We could have gotten the black and red Spider-Man suit, which took years later to get. So I just think there's a more interesting figure that could have been put here, so she comes in at number 8. Number 7 is an interesting one, and that is the blue power suit Black Panther. Let me explain. When Black Panther came out, he had a set that had this blue minifigure in it, and the concept art for Black Panther was going to show that his, kinetic suit was going to have blue power instead of purple, but they changed it to purple when the film came out, and LEGO didn't have time to change it between the concept art and the release of the set, so unfortunately we ended up with an inaccurate minifigure. Continuing the trend for almost the exact same reasons, we have Shuri from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The figure is fine with the leg printing, which is a rarity for LEGO Marvel, as well as the new torso print, but she never really wears this outfit in the movie, so it was kind of a waste of a figure. I would have rather just gotten Shuri in like a more regular Wakanda style outfit rather than a suit that we literally never see her wear in the movie. So because it's a main character in a suit that didn't even appear on screen, she's got to be on the list, and she comes in at number 6. Number 5 is Namor from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We've kind of got a little Black Panther, run going here, but this is the last Black Panther figure on the list, and the reason that this one is disappointing is because he doesn't have the mustache. I mean, come on, that would be like making a Mario minifig that doesn't have a mustache. It would have been so easy to give him a mustache, and I just think that the fact that he's missing it makes the figure look more like the comics than the movie, and we want movie-accurate minifigs, and adding a mustache really would not have been that big of a deal, but I'm guessing the concept art had him with no mustache, and therefore, he gets placed on the list. We are at number 4, and this takes us back to one of the very earliest years for LEGO Marvel, and this is the Ultimate Spider-Man Green Goblin Big Fig. This thing is absolute nightmare fuel. It's actually relatively accurate to what it was trying to portray, but of all the Green Goblin variants, of all the Spider-Man villains we could have gotten, the fact that LEGO made a Big Fig mold for this still blows my mind a decade later. So this one is at number 4. Now before we get to the top 3, I have a few honorable mentions. The first being 2012 Captain America. Personally, I like this figure a lot, but as I said at the beginning of the video, this is fielded from your guys' comments and DMs, and I know a lot of you don't like this figure. The 2023 update version is much better, admittedly, but I still like the first one, and I think it's aged pretty well, but a lot of you guys don't like it, so I wanted to include it on the list. For similar reasons, we've got the 2012 Hawkeye in our honorable mentions. His hairpiece here is absolutely terrible. It looks nothing like Jeremy Renner, and he barely wore these sunglasses or goggles or whatever they're supposed to be in the movie, so he's really a bad figure as well. For similar reasons of figures on the list previous, it just doesn't match what we saw on screen, so he's an honorable mention. But I will say, if you just flip out the hairpiece on this, it becomes a much better figure quickly. And our final honorable mention is the Firefighter from Spider-Man Far From Home. This was such a random figure that came in the Molten Man battle, and I think it should have just been Ned from Spider-Man Far From Home. We got Ned in the accessory pack after the movie came out, and Ned was even in this scene, so it's really weird that we just got a random Firefighter. Kind of a wasted slot in that set, if you ask me, but it's kind of funny to laugh about the meme of it all these years later. Okay, now we're in our top 3, and I want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, comment down below and let me know if you think I'm missing any bad figures on this list, but also be sure to like and subscribe. Okay, at number 3, we have Wasp from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, I'm not a total hater on this figure. I don't think it's the worst figure ever made, but it's certainly pretty bad with no leg printing, no arm printing, and the helmet is just a printed helmet, and it's not molded like Ant-Man's has always been, so it's definitely disappointing, and those cartoony blue wings don't match what we really see in the movie, so it's definitely a disappointment, and things have not gotten better over the years. This is the only Wasp minifigure we've ever gotten, and for Quantum Mania, they made a microfig, so it's not getting any better anytime soon, and unfortunately, she's at number 3. At number 2, we have Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3. This was during a strange time where they were making the Extremis figures to be glow in the dark, so he's got these red veins on one side of his head and a kind of odd off-white look to the other side of his head. It really looks nothing like Guy Pearce, the actor that played him, and even though Aldrich Killian is a relatively forgettable villain overall, I still think this minifigure is really, really terrible. The only thing it's actually good for is the torso, which was nice for making customs over the years, but beyond that, it's a pretty terrible minifig. And at number 1, the worst LEGO Marvel minifigure ever to come out, it is Happy Hogan from Spider-Man Far From Home. This looks nothing like Jon Favreau. He doesn't have a goatee, the hairline doesn't match, it's terrible. It's boring, and it literally could just be any guy with black hair and a black jacket, and Jon Favreau deserves so much better. In fact, it's the only Happy Hogan we've ever gotten from LEGO, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So he comes in at number 1. So guys, let me know what you think of this list in the comments down below. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know what video you want to see next here on the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and maybe check out one of my other videos listed here.